Hello everybody. At this time we are talking about customer education. Customer education or customer training helps companies onboard, train, and retain new and existing customers. These resources provide value to customers by fostering their success, ultimately increasing loyalty. The best customer education programs impacts measurable business metrics such as product adoption and customer retention. And then why customer education is important. People usually buy a product or service because they want something. They have a pain point they need to resolve or something they're excited about accomplishing. Customer education is important because it helps the people who use your production or services actually get that thing that they want. Good education during a sales process can help potential customers decide if and why your product or service is right. After the sale, it can help them actually figure out how to use it, reducing the likelihood of getting stuck and abandoning the process. This translates into higher customer satisfaction, a lower churn rate for subscription or membership businesses. And then we move to benefits of educating customers. The first benefit, onboard customers more quickly. Almost every digital product involves product onboarding, which is essential for customer education in service marketing. A customer education program should include a set of instructions and tips on how to use the product, as well as additional learning resources, helpdesk, guides, online courses, etc. A successful customer education program lets your business provide a faster onboarding process, more customers, and scale up easily. And then the second, position your brand as a market leader. Investing in successful customer education positions your brand as the market expert. By sharing high quality, industry specific knowledge, your business can show existing and potential customers that you know the field better than any of your competitors. This inspires trust, thereby increasing customer satisfaction scores and helping your business convert your target audience to customers. And then third, build customer loyalty and become a loved brand. All successful successful businesses have one thing in common. They know how to manage their customer life cycle and engender loyalty in their clients. When a business invests in customer acquisition, it fosters a stronger connection with the brand and thus reduces the chance of clients switching to a competitor. By generating loyalty, your customers become brand advocates, boosting brand awareness through word of mouth and growing your customer base. And then we move to key components of a customer's education program. The first component, marketing content. Marketing content attracts and informs potential customers. It brings your product or service to their attention and addresses how it can solve their unique pain points. And then second, thought leadership content. Thought leadership content positions your brand as an authority in your industry, helping you build credibility and trust with current and potential customers. And then third, educational content. Educational content is a core part of your customers' education initiatives. This is where you'll see some overlap with customers' training, as this component focuses on teaching your users how to use your products. Then fourth, engagement tactics. Customers' education should be ongoing, so you need to employ the right engagement tactics to keep users learning and active. And then fifth, instructional design principles. Implement instructional design principles when building your courses to add structure and help your customers learn faster and retain information. Instructional design helps you plan and structure a course that guides the learner through the different stages of learning and imparts knowledge. And then, who belongs on a customer's education team? There are a few key roles all customers' education programs should consider. The first, customer's education lead. It's this person's responsibility to get the customer's education program off the ground and fully operational. They are leading the charge. And then second, instructional design. They translate the concept identified by your subject matter export into content and courses that enable your customers to learn successfully. And the subject matter export. The subject matter export is the brains behind all of your content. And then fourth, executive sponsor. Your executive sponsor should guide you to ensure your program fully aligns with the business strategic priorities. how to launch a customer's education program. The first step, set up goals. The first step toward implementing your customer's education program is to define its goals. This will help you clarify what you're trying to achieve and serve as a baseline that will be used to measure the results of your customers' learning program. Align the goals of your customers' education initiative with your company's expected business outcomes. And then the second, assess your current customer's education program. Once your education team has defined your goals, it's time to audit your current learning resources, or you already have some kind of customers training in place. And then the third, decide on the educational content. The step for course creators is to decide which format you'll use for your customers' product training. Customers' education training can be conducted in a number of ways. And then fourth, map out your training program. You've defined the business objectives, audited current customers' training strategy, and chosen your goals. What's next? It's time to map out the training program. At this stage, it's important for use the data you gather in the previous stage to understand what objectives you can help customers achieve. And then create learning context. Once your customer's education program is defined, it's time to create educational content. This is where course authoring software comes to play. And six, deliver learning content. Once you've created your educational content, you need to share it with your end users or clients. Of course, use general educational materials on your website, blog, and YouTube channels, but it's difficult to evaluate their effectiveness if it only comes through customer feedback. I think this is enough. Thanks for watching.